health care law includes funds for community-based clinics. In Pasadena, we do not have nearly enough clinics to serve our health care needs. What will you do to bring federal funds home to build additional community clinics in Pasadena?
What I'm going to do is assemble a team to get on the ground and see all of the areas that have been ignored in this district for 10 years or more. And then we're going to evaluate section by section each area and what their specific needs are. Why I want to hear from the regular people, not from the corporation people, the regular people, and we'll get the problem taken care of swiftly.
To begin with healthcare, Kesha Rogers would immediately work to repeal what the Obama administration passed and the Congress passed as the Obamacare. It's an abomination, it's unconstitutional, and it does not respect the very sanctity of life. So the first things first is we repeal Obamacare, and then go back to what we had in this country under Franklin Roosevelt. We had what was called the Hill-Burton standard, where you have so many hospital beds per 1,000 people, and that we can be determined on a state-to-state basis, region-to-region basis, but we basically a 180 turn from what the healthcare policy is today, and go back to what it was under Franklin Roosevelt's term.
Thank you.
What will you do to bring more jobs, good-paying jobs, to our community?
I'm very glad you asked that, because that's the #1 issue on my campaign. First thing, I'm not going to rely on any corporations or any banks. They're not here to benefit us. They're exporting our jobs at a rapid rate out of the country. They're just passing us by. Have a framework of a bill already in progress that I'm writing with another candidate called the American Small Business Act, which has nothing whatsoever to do with Obama's act that he's trying to pass, where if they will not create any jobs corporately in this country, I'm going to break down barriers in the Small Business Administration, whatever barriers, sex, race, color, whatever barriers they are, and I'm going to ask the local officials to cooperate. I do not have that much chance, but I'm going to ask first, because I want people to start a business and give them a tax break and give them a fighting chance for 18 months to get a business of their own up and running, and let them provide 2 people a job and see if we can grow this. Because what we have going on in this country right now is not working whatsoever. It's just more corporations downsizing, which means i.e. shipping jobs to China and India, Mexico, Canada, wherever they can get around the laws. We need to start our industry back here, our steel, our automotive, especially our automotive, and other businesses such as agriculture and food service, clothing, textiles. I mean, I have a list that goes on, but it needs to come back here, and it needs to start here, so we have a variety of stuff like we used to have back in 1997, when money was good and the stores were open and everybody was employed. That's my #1 thing, jobs. Thank you.
Okay, this is fun. This is a real fun question, because this is the hottest topic. First, let's start from the top. Why don't we have jobs? We've adopted a system of globalization in this nation and around the planet for the last 30 or 40 years. That's got to stop. Anyone wants to talk about jobs, you got to start there. In terms of the banks, go back to the way our banking system used to work. Put a firewall in between the investment banks and the commercial banks. Reinstate the Glass-Steagall Banking Act, which is what Franklin Roosevelt did in 1933. That way, you'll be able to free up our federal government and the commercial banking system to issue credit. Instead of trillions of dollars to Wall Street, which is just a big hole, why don't we put trillions of dollars into what's called the North American Water and Power Lines? We can do this. We have engineers moving on it right now to put it together. And the idea, it's an absolutely incredible infrastructure project. It's for the whole North American continent. The idea, summarily, is to divert fresh water from Alaska and Canada, about 20% of the fresh water that's going in the Pacific and the Arctic, and move it down through a system of tunnels, canals, reservoirs into the North American continent. It's like the TVA of the 21st century. You bring it down into the United States, then into northern Mexico, essentially greening the whole region as it comes. And this has been on the books in the United States for years and years and years. It's always been the intention to make the deserts bloom. You want agriculture, you have to bring in water. And we're talking a big project, not just spotty projects here and there. Then, if you get the sense this is a big project, you let the physical economy inform the financial economy. You let these projects determine who gets loans, not the banking system. You let what do people need, what's the infrastructure that people need to live, and you let that inform the banking system. That's how this country's always worked when we've worked at our grades, under Lincoln, the founding fathers, Franklin Roosevelt, John F. Kennedy. That's how it works. You have the physical economy, the general welfare first. Okay. So, and these are things that are all available on Kesha's site, KeshaForCongress.com. This project is ready to go on the books, but if you want industry back, you have to have a mission. We have to rally the nations of the North American continent on a mission. There has to be a focus to it. So I encourage you, go to her website. We can speak afterwards, and this is the way, really the only way to do it at this point. Thank you.